Hello, I am Gauche. The following video clips are used legally under fair use for the purpose of commentary and criticism. Anita Sarkeesian of Feminist Frequency posted a new video recently on March 8, 2016. You may not have seen it until March 10th or later, however, because at the time, it was a secret video. That is correct. This is a screenshot of me, Gauche, posting the video's link on Twitter on March 8th. That link is still intact, but if you click on it, the video is listed as being uploaded on March 10th, 2 days after I linked it. This video, which Anita Sarkeesian hopes to use to fund her new series of videos, went unlisted on YouTube. It was only visible to those who had the link, who were mostly people visiting her Seed and Spark page, where the video was embedded. I do not understand this decision, seeing as her videos already feature no like bar and no comment section. What exactly was she trying to protect herself from? I believe that her goal may have been to avoid videos such as this one. Unfortunately, the only way to avoid being made to look foolish on the internet is to never be foolish in a public forum, and this proves to be very difficult when your career is talking about that which you do not understand.
Oh, sorry, did I shock you?
You sure did. Bit.
My, she certainly seems relatable.
For years, Feminist Frequency has created videos that examine what too often goes unexamined. The way women are portrayed in media, and how that both reflects and shapes our ideas about women in real life.
Yes, very few people talk about that. It isn't as though people were tackling this subject on television back when you were 10 years old.
The Friends theme sets focus on traditionally female-identified tasks, including baking at the City Park Cafe, getting your hair done at the Butterfly Beauty Shop.
Don't you have anything relevant to say? Don't ask me. I'm just a girl.
Doing this work, I've often heard people say it's unrealistic or historically inaccurate to have female characters in media that are more than just passive sidekicks or eye candy.
I cannot imagine that this has ever happened to you. That would be a stupid and baseless thing to say. This sounds like something you came up with yourself, or maybe something that was said to you once by a 12-year-old on the internet, and that you intend to prop up this flimsy argument just to knock it down again. Almost like a man made out of straw.
The past was full of women who were rebels,
Cool.
anarchists.
Anarchism is stupid. Why would you want to propagate the idea that some women were stupid?
No more laws! No more rules! We can live off the land as mankind was always meant to! We can go see movies for free now! Anarchy!
Undercover reporters,
Cool.
technological geniuses,
Very cool.
and even fearsome pirates.
Pirates are thieves. Why would you want to propagate the idea that some women are criminals?
So this Women's History Month, we're embarking on a new project to set the record straight.
There is an entire month of the year devoted to the study of women's history in your country, yet you still imply that you are breaking new ground with this web series.
Although each of them is extraordinary, they can help us reimagine the world as a place where women doing revolutionary things isn't incredible at all. It's just normal.
Doing revolutionary things isn't normal for anyone. If it were, it wouldn't be called revolutionary. Also, history is full of great women that everyone already knows about, like Harriet Tubman and Marie Curie.
That's why we call them ordinary women daring to defy history.
You just said that they were extraordinary women. I understand that you briefly and offhandedly explained the reason why you would call them ordinary, but people won't know that explanation or any other explanations you come up with before they click on the video. Also, should it not be ordinary women defying stereotypes? They aren't defying history, they are the history. This is a bad title.
Bad movie. Bad you.
You operate under the false assumption that everyone thinks that all of the important characters in history are men. You are the one asserting that idea. The population of humans has been roughly 50% female for as long as there have been humans. Just because a woman's name isn't in the history books doesn't mean that this woman was not important to the people in her life. You are equating being extraordinary to being famous. While we all understand why you would make this mistake, it is seriously belittling to the women of yesteryear, most of whom were not afforded the opportunities to become famous. Or do women not count as important or noteworthy unless they flip the proverbial script on gender norms?
Some choices that women make have an enormous negative impact on other women's lives. So it's not enough to feel personally empowered or be personally successful within the oppressive framework of the current system.
Sorry, Karen, who does not exist. I know you want to be a mom when you grow up, but that wouldn't be very feminist of you. Perhaps you can be a pirate.
Jing Shi started out working in a brothel and ended up as the feared commander of one of the largest pirate fleets in history.
Oh good, a prostitute turned pirate. Excellent role model.
Ida B. Wells was born a slave but became a daring investigative reporter who exposed the horrors of lynching after the Civil War.
Ida B. Wells too, if I was this daring and ordinary.
Murasaki Shikibu lived at a time when women's names were rarely even written down, but it didn't stop her from writing the first modern novel.
Wait, were those 5 descriptions you gave the actual only 5 examples you are going to talk about?
Emma Goldman's radical ideas about gender and individual freedom got her kicked out of at least 3 countries and labeled one of the most dangerous women in America.
Her ideas themselves got her in that much trouble? Why do I get the feeling that it could be the way that she presented these ideas that may have caused her that much strife? Let's turn ahead on this lesson and take a look at her Wikipedia page. All right, this one is the anarchist, so we know she's very intelligent. She used propaganda and oh look, she is an attempted murderer, right on page 1. She premeditated assassinating a man to push her political ideas. She isn't a pirate in a less civilized world. She is a person living roughly 100 years ago, and she is a terrorist. And look at that, she did not support feminism or women's suffrage. Good example.
And Ada Lovelace's doctor said her feminine mind was too weak and fragile to handle advanced math. She ignored him and wrote the world's first computer program.
Yes, those were all 5 examples. So presumably, there will be exactly 5 videos.
Each episode will focus on one of these women and feature gorgeous original animation with a style inspired by both the person and the time period when she lived. Although their stories take place everywhere from 10th century Japan,
Oh my, it's so beautiful.
you may be surprised at how relevant many of their struggles are to women today.
I would venture that these real struggles faced by women who were actually oppressed will be very relatable to Tumblr feminists who are offended by words on the internet.
Each of them was surrounded by cultural messages that said women had to be small, quiet, and submissive in order to be good. But they spoke up for themselves, often at the cost of harassment, slander, racism, and even death threats.
Death threats levied against a free slave in the South are something to be taken very seriously. Frankly, as a person who has cried victim to death threats made anonymously online with no evidence, none of which were legitimate or to be taken seriously, it might be a little disrespectful for you, of all people, to cover this subject. At the very least, you should provide some very large disclaimers that these women went through serious hardships, and you certainly should not encourage people to pretend to relate to their struggle.
In a world that was designed to silence and diminish them,
Designed. Because it could not have just fallen into place. It took centuries of conspired male oppression to bring females down. I don't know how they managed to do it, considering that female humans are physically weaker, physically smaller, and devote long periods of their life to carrying, nursing, and raising their young. Females really have it rough under the patriarchy, wherein society has opted to ignore these physical differences and accept females as equal members of society with open arms.
we've already invested $20,000 and a lot of effort from our team to lay the groundwork for the first season of Ordinary Women, but we need your help to make this series a reality.
$20,000 by itself would be an enormous budget for a series of YouTube videos. I can see why. You must need that enormous room to convey a message you could very easily convey sitting directly in front of the camera you're sitting in front of now. And can we see that beautiful, historically inspired animation again? Wow, and I thought Disney had discontinued its hand-drawn animation department. It must have taken you hundreds of dollars to wiggle that digital image on screen like that.
These women's stories have moved us, inspired us, and resonated with our
The tape editor.
yeah, that would be me. Great.
I could say a lot at this point, but most of it has already been said by many content creators before me. I would like to direct you to this video by The Amazing Atheist. In his video, he establishes that Anita Sarkeesian already has a lot of disposable money, both in her name and in the name of her company. Anita's pitch here does not make these new videos look expensive either. It looks like Anita will be standing in front of a screen with some lights and a camera, and that they will have to pay a graphic artist to do these animations, some of which have already clearly been completed before the crowdfunding even began. This is a ridiculous move for Sarkeesian. I have no reason to believe that she has given up on tropes versus women in video games, at least based on what I've seen. If she did, that would be a slap in the face to anyone who supported her, and it would also make crowdfunding as a whole look like a bad idea on the part of the donors. If she has not given up on this project, which was started a very long time ago, starting such a big and elaborate project in the interim seems like a bad idea as well, especially one that requires this much money in donations. I will be watching this series, Anita, and we will see where your shameless internet begging will get you. I am Gauche. Goodbye.